So it is time to upgrade the new cars. We just bought the mansion, customized it, and we bought these cars at the end of the last video in the GTA Plus car club, the Vapid car club, where we are actually getting early access to this, the Progen Luiva, which is based on the McLaren Elva, which is going to look absolutely, it does look absolutely stunning. But that's not what we're focusing on right now. What we have right here is probably the car I was not expecting for this update, but the car I wanted the most. Not to mention I got it for free with GTA Plus, which is absolutely incredible. This is the FMJ Mark V, based on the 4GT Mark IV. And it looks absolutely crazy right now. I am literally shaking looking at this thing. I cannot believe this is here. Actually, it sounds just like the Tyrus. That's not a sound I was expecting, but let's instantly get our lock-on jammer on and our HSW upgrade. We're gonna need that. Say with the armor, the brakes, the engine. I really want to see how fast this thing is gonna be, because I bet you it's gonna be absolutely insane. Let's actually go with this. Let's keep that right now. Let's see what else we could do. Give you the seats, the spoiler. This thing has a surprising amount of customization, I will say. Let's go with the Stage 3 Turbo. Bulletproof tires, we're gonna need that. This thing is gonna rip. But immediately, let's jump into the customization. So, for canards, we have street fins. Ooh, smaller fins. That in secondary. Racing fins. That kind of looks like time attacky. That in secondary as well. Performance fins and in secondary. Trim performance fin, very nice. GT fins, that is a little different than our stock fins. That in secondary and with trim. I think I like the stock ones the best though. And then for the engine, that's just that. The exhaust, let's see what we got here. So, ooh, very high RPM limit, very cool. You have a racing exhaust, a square exhaust, carbon exhaust, dual oval exhaust, or a turbo GT exhaust. I think I'm gonna go with the turbo GT exhaust because it keeps all them together, because this just looks like a sticky straight out the back. This looks a little bit more proper. Then we have the grill. This, let's see the back. Yeah, the engine cover. So you have a carbon honeycomb grill, that in secondary as well. A black GT grill, that carbon sports grill or secondary grill. I think we're gonna go with the carbon honeycomb, because then you can kind of see the engine in there. And then for the livery, let's see what we got here. Oh, we have none, which that actually looks kind of sick. A blue stripe, which you can't see because it's blue. An orange stripe, which is, I guess, just the blue stripe in orange. Red River Racing. This is like the GT40 livery. I want to say Flint Racing. Go Red. This is kind of like the LM livery, like the Le Mans livery. Abstraction. No Go Racing. Camo. And then the white stripe. And then we have two HSW ones. I think the white stripe is the best. I think. I'm going to say that. Our plate is good. Our rear diffuser. You have that in secondary or in the trim. They have a race diffuser. That in secondary or with trim. An aftermarket diffuser. That might be the one we go with. That in secondary and trim. No, we're going with the GT diffuser. That in secondary or trim. And then we just have the HSW. We're going to go with the GT diffuser without the trim to match our canards. Then our respray, it is just white stripes. So I think we're going to go with a darker blue. I think we are going to go with just blue or dark blue or just blue. I think dark blue I like the dark blue better. We're just going to leave the pearlescent as is because it looks fine. And our secondary color, it's like the back of the seats. So let's actually do that in white to match our livery. Which would be... Honestly, we need more colors. We need new colors. Because we've had the same 35 for a while. I know that there is the chameleon colors. Actually, what is the new chameleon color, though? It is Red Rainbow Flip. No thanks. We also can't do a crew emblem on this car. Interesting. Now the exhaust cover, finally we can change this. A rectangular heat shield, a circular heat shield, star heat shield, or I am on fire. Ooh, they actually got some pretty decent options, but none of that removes the chrome. If I had to go with one though, I think I'm gonna go with the circular heat shield. Oh, that's rectangular, not whatever I said. I don't know if I said rectangular or not. Maybe I'm just confused myself. Now I can do the seats. We have racing seats, competition seats, carbon seats. Those do not look comfortable. Street seats and carbon street seats. None of those look comfortable, but I think the racing seats look the best. And then for the splitters, finally, you can have that in secondary. That just looks straight up neon. But we have that in the trim color. Actually, I might go with the trim color because it matches with the livery. I might do that. I might change our canards as well. They have street splitter, that's secondary and trim. An extended splitter, that's secondary and trim, of course. Oh, not in trim. Then we have a GT splitter, that's secondary and with a trim. And then just HSW stuff. Anything different for HSW? Doesn't seem like it. I think we're going to go with the trim GT splitter. If we head back to our diffuser, we can do the trim GT diffuser. And then let's do our... Actually, let's head back up and change our canards before we touch the wing. So the canards, we already know we're going to go with the trim GT fins. Close enough to the stock ones, I guess, because it's one of the only ones with two. And then we have the spoiler. So you have... Whoa, triple wing! Okay. Stock spoiler, the carbon aftermarket, that in secondary as well. Racing spoiler, okay. Pretty cool. That in secondary. Carbon, oh, I hate that. No, ew. That also doesn't look good either. All these wing options are crazy, but they're not good. I think if I had to go with any of them, it's either going to be carbon secondary or just leave it stock. So there was, yeah, carbon secondary, I think. Carbon secondary GT spoiler. That one. Very nice. Then sun strips, black, carbon, or secondary. Oh, the livery is glitched on it. Oh. I think we're going to go with a black one, though, because that kind of matches with the edges of the windshield. Suspension, we already did that. Transmission, transmission, turbo, wheels, windows. We're going to skip those. The wheels, though, I don't want to change these. Yeah, I think the stock wheels look the best, honestly. I think we're good. Yeah, we are all set. I do wish we could... Actually, can we change the skirts? There's no skirts, I don't think. Yeah, no skirts. I wish we could change the skirts and the headlight covers and the hood. Those are... The hood? No. Let's see. The only things I wish we could change is the hood, the skirts, and the roof and that scoop. Or like the engine cover. I think if we could change those, this would be a lot better. I do really like, though, how you can actually see the wheel through the top of the car, and also how there's the hole by the doors as well. So I think they definitely put a decent bit of work into this, but this is like a fully fledged race car, so obviously I guess it is kind of understandable how they don't have that much customization for it. But let's just roll out. I also wish I could change the wheel color, but how does the interior look? Okay, and we can see our speed right there. Okay, this thing feels wild already. Oh, there's one of those taxis! One of those driverless taxis as well. I think it's also funny how it has the wheels from the Envisage of all things. But let's actually head over to the highway, because that would be the best place to test top speed, obviously. Seems like there's a lot of traffic, like maybe more than usual. I wonder if they actually turned it up a little bit. However, I think from the highway that goes from the city to the desert, that stretch there, I think is going to be the best. And what we got to do is we got to floor it and then go into first person to see how fast we're going, because I really hope this thing is the fastest car in the game, and I can easily see it being the fastest. So we have to actually get over there first. I think just taking the highway to the other highway might be the best course of action. We'll start by the casino, we'll floor it, get as high as we can, and then we'll switch to first person and check our speed. Alright, here we are on the highway right outside the casino. Okay, no one's coming. Let's get out and let's just fly. I quickly checked my speed on the way here, and we hit a bump and got up to 150 miles an hour. So already this thing is just absolutely insane. But let's actually see if this is potentially the first 200 mile an hour car. Whoa! Okay, it was that taxi. It's another one of those taxis. But let's see if this is potentially the first 200 mile an hour car in GTA. It doesn't look like it though. Unfortunately, this thing does look pretty slow, but that RPM is extremely high because of the HSW. This feels slower than the Banshee, because the Banshee, I have done max 183. This is 162. Okay. So max speed is right around 160 miles an hour. Don't get me wrong, this still places it as like the third or fourth fastest HSW car, which is pretty wild. But I think that the advantage this thing has over the Banshee for sure is whoa, okay. Okay, we're getting up to about, okay, that's the 159. Okay, so it is ludicrously fast, but it's not Banshee GTS fast, because the Banshee, as I said, 183 miles an hour. This tops out right around 160. Which, honestly, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. The looks on this thing are absolutely insane. But I will still drive this because this thing has the launch advantage over the Banshee. The Banshee really, really struggles to put its power down, but this thing is on it. Plus, the rear suspension on the Banshee is extremely janky. Like, you hit a bump and you are spinning out. It is just like the Viper in real life. This thing, I feel a lot more confident when driving it, I will say. It feels a lot more planted and a lot more stable at higher speeds. So, I think this thing, I would take this over the Banshee. This might be the best HSW car simply because the other two HSW cars that I know of that are faster than this is the 170 mile an hour Itali Stinger GTO. Or not the Stinger GTO, the Stinger the Stinger TT. I'll actually show you. So the cars I am thinking of are the Grotti Stinger TT, which with HSW does 170, and the Banshee GTS, which is currently the fastest car in the game at 180 miles an hour. But the problem with both of those is they struggle on acceleration because they can't put their power down. So they spin their wheels a lot and have a really hard time getting up to speed. But when those wheels grip, they do have better acceleration than the FMJ Mark V. And although they do have higher top speeds, they're a lot less stable. Both of them actually feel like death traps. Because one bump, and as I said, you are completely sideways, and you lose all control. Because they're strictly rear-wheel drive, and they really struggle to put their power down, when those wheels slip, it just wants to tear itself apart. That includes you inside of it. So this is the best HSW car, simply because it may not be the fastest, but it's the one that you can put the power down in. It's the one that corners the best by the looks of it as well. We're going to have to take this thing up to Devin Weston's mansion, take the roads out there, to see if that's really the case. There's another one of those taxis. So let's actually see real quick. Yeah, already this thing, I was easily able to just snap this thing back into line. With the Banshee, I'd probably be absolutely sideways. But this thing, I can take these corners flat out, and it just wants to stick to the road. You have to cut that there. But this feels so much better than my Banshee. Like, you could get it, like, you could kind of get it out of line a little bit, and it'll just snap right back in. The power delivery is a lot better with this thing compared to the other two. The Stinger and the Banshee. like lifting off a little, yeah, you could slide it a little bit too, and it'll just snap right back in. With the Banshee and the Itali, you would just be sideways out of control. This thing is wild. It actually wants to slide a little bit into the corner, but it's like a nice controlled slide. Oh, frick. Okay, maybe it does hit a little bit of understeer. So you do have to slide it in anyways. But it is so, I will say, it's nice to drive. It's actually, like, nice to drive, bro. That was not my fault. But see that, like, with the Banshee, it would just keep spinning its wheels. But this, it puts its power down, actually. Yeah, this thing is incredible. Oh my god. Okay, I'm kind of speechless right now. This thing works so well. Those taxis. And between the three, the Itali, the Banshee, and the FMJ, I think the FMJ looks the best. I'm gonna say it right now. I might be slightly biased because the GT is my childhood dream car, which is kind of funny saying that because it was revealed in 2016 and I was 8 at the time. And I've loved this thing for like the past 10 years. Because I think this thing was unveiled in 2015 actually, but the Mark V was only revealed like I think a year or two ago. And now it's in GTA, and they did a very, very good job on this. This is definitely going to be my new main car for a while. And I think this is the car we're going to do the missions in, unless they get a little too difficult. And in that case, I am still going to stick with the Monstrosity. If you want performance, then the FMJ Mark V is the way to go. But if you want safety, then I would highly recommend the, again. But if you want safety, I would highly recommend the Monstrosity because it has bullet-resistant windows. And it also, has a lock-on chamber as well. It's all-wheel drive, very good off-road. It is, I think, like, a perfect storm, that, Monstrosity. I'll actually show you it. And it's also less than 1.5 mil. It's, 1.48 million. It's not an off-road, it's two-door? Why did they put it in two-door? Right here. This is the best HSW car in the game in terms of usefulness. But this, in terms of all-around performance, I think the FMJ Mark V takes the cake. This thing, just stunning. It looks amazing. It drives better than it looks somehow. This thing is just absolutely ludicrously insane. I know it's only available with GTA Plus right now, but even if you get GTA Plus for all the other bonuses, I think this thing alone makes GTA Plus worth it. Because I got it early, I got it for free, and even then, I still feel like I got my in-game money's worth. An $8 car, though, is an $8 car. Don't get me wrong. This thing is amazing. Get it. Like, get GTA Plus. This thing is wild.